Welcome back to my Python tutorials. Jai Hind students, today I'm going to talk about Python libraries. So the chapter name is using Python libraries. It's a session 1 and chapter 4 of yours computer science with Python. Objectives that we have decided today to finish: introduction, what is library, what is a module, then a structure of a Python module, importing modules in Python program, Python's processing of import module command, namespace, using Python standard libraries, functions and modules, and using built-in functions and creating a Python library. These are the objectives of today. Now let's see one by one. Libraries. In every programming language, there is a collection of ready-made things that's called library. Here in the Python also, library is a collection of different kinds of modules that works together to cater a particular kind of task. Now, once I want to perform a mathematical task, I have need of a mathematical libraries. There are the different libraries which are meant for it, like a NumPy, or like a CMath, or like a math. These all are the libraries example. Now, once we are talking about the libraries, it's a collection of different kind of modules, and the modules are the separate again .py file which having more than one functions of different kinds that we can use directly without creating to hire that module in my program. So what is library? Is a collection of modules of different kinds which helps us to perform a specific kind of task, or which help us to cater the particular kind of things. That is what library is. And the modules, if someone is asking you what is module, is simply a .py file that we create in Python, and we again import that in Python. Further, we can use it directly. That is what module is. So two things. In introduction, we are basically going to talk about the libraries. As I mentioned, library is very required because it's inbuilt features of Python in the form of a collections of functions, classes that you can directly use. And otherwise, simply you can say collections of different kind of modules is a part of a library, and module is a separate .py file which may have one or more than one functions and different again things which help us to perform a particular kind of task. For example, if I want math again modules and I want to use the power method, then I have to import the math modules of mathematical library, and then I can use the math.power, and under bracket I can pass the parameters. Here I am not creating a power function, I am directly using from the math modules. That's why the import math is the statement that you write to use it. So this is how library is, how a module is a separate .py file. We can create your own module also, that we'll see. Now, a structure of a Python module. If you'll see the structure of a Python module, every module that you create having something called docstring. Again, always in the 3 quotes. Inverted in 3 quotes, and then you write a string, whatever the message you want to write here. It's a document string, doc string, which basically help us to know about that module. So you can take the help of any module in a Python, but just to use the help, and then module name will give you this, whatever you have written in the doc string. Then it may have a variable and many variables. Then may have a function, more than one function it may, and function has got again variables. Then we have a classes also, class objects in it, and some constant also that you want to declare. Of course, comments is a part of it. So basic structure of every module is we must have a docstring which talked about what the purpose of this module is. If you want to know about that module, you can see the docstring of that module which will help you. Variables, as you all know, variables are required to store the different things, and there may be a function, more than one function can be there, and every functions can have a more than one variables. Then we may have a class. As you all know, class is a collection object of a similar kind, and to present a class we have need of an object, and more than one objects can be there, and some constant value that you want to fix for that module, so that if user want to refer it, they can directly refer the constant variable name to see what the value it is. That is how modules structures are. So this is what the structure of a Python module. Comments anywhere you can write like a normal Python program, so module may have a different comments again to understand the different parts of module. Now importing modules in a Python program. To import modules in Python, there are two different ways we use. First is you can import the entire module. For that you just write import and module name. This is module name. I'm keeping in the angular bracket. It's up to you what module you want to import. Now this is to complete again hire the module that you want to hire. So if I'll say import math, it means the math module of the Python I'm importing in my program. So everything of the math module will be the part of your program. This is how to import the entire module in your Python program. You may hire a particular function of a particular module. In that case, you have to say from, then the module name, and then you have to say import, and then you have to say what function you want and whatever power, or maybe sqrt. Now this is how to import a particular function of a particular module, not the complete again module. That's why the command is from, then module name, then the import statement, and then whatever you want to import from that module. This is a partially if you want to import a module in your program, and this is entire module will be there. These are the two different ways that we use to hire a module or used a particular module in Python program. That is how importing modules in a Python program. Now Python for processing of import module command. Once Python interpreter see any import statement regarding a particular module, what generally happens, there are two different cases. Once Python see any import statement with a module name, it means entire module once we are hiring, the Python interpreter execute the statement first. So execute the statement according to the statement that you have written. So first and foremost, the moment the Python gets an import statement that is the entire module you are hiring, it's execute the statement. And then second is, it makes the things available for you, makes the thing ready for you. Ready for you to use. It means all the functions of that modules again are ready to be used in your program. That is second step. And third is create a namespace. Create a namespace. These are the three things happens as the moment a Python interpreter see or cross or come across any import statement that is entire module once you are trying to hire. What it is? First execute the statement according to the statement, then makes the all functions variables ready to use, and create a namespace with the same name as a module name in your Python program, so that if the two things, if there is a ambiguity in the name, then you can use the namespace dot that, and that is what namespace is. But I'll discuss the namespace, but these are the three things. Now in case of partial, that is this from a statement, it's execute the statement, then it will simply again make the things ready, make the things ready to use. No namespace is created in this case, since we are hiring a particular again section or particular function of that module, partially we are hiring. So two things takes place, executing the statement and making the function ready for use or ready to use. This is how Python processing of import module command works. Now namespace. As the name suggests, namespace is a space created in Python once we are importing a Python module with the same name which carry all the variables and other things of that module, so that if it required to check of any variables that you are using in the program, it will check again with the namespace. So it's the environmental logical variables that created in the Python program with the same name as a module name what you have, which hold all information about that modules if you are hiring a complete again module. But if it is a partial, no namespace created. Why? Because now there is no ambiguity. Since you hired the power and this, so only you can use this too. But if I'm using the complete again import module name, then math dot I have to write, and whatever the function, the module name, and that is required to be. That's why the namespace created the same name, so that there is no ambiguity in the name. Now next is using Python standard library functions and module. Now standard libraries are the libraries that loaded in your Pythons at the moment you execute the Pythons, or simply once we load the Python in your computer. That's what it's called as standard libraries. The standard libraries functions can be directly used because these functions are inbuilt functions in the Python. For example, len, for example, print, for example, input, for example, str function, for example, int. For this kind of functions which are inbuilt functions, we are not again hiring any module. The reason is these are the part of standard libraries. So we are using many functions in the Python without using a module. The reason is that function belongs to the standard libraries functions, and in Python we have many standard library functions, like math itself is a standard library functions, and many functions of the math you can directly again use because they are inbuilt. So inbuilt, using the inbuilt function, you have to use the simple function name. So simple, you can say len. This len function directly used, or you can say input function. For this kind of function we are not using any again module, or maybe int function, or maybe str function. These all functions frequently we are using because these are inbuilt functions and a part of a standard library of the Python program. Now come to the how to create a Python libraries. Now we may create our own libraries, and that libraries can be again incorporated in the Python program so that we can use it whenever it required in my program. Now I'll let you know the steps to create a Python libraries. Libraries, you can say also it's a package, collections of things. As I mentioned, libraries are collections of functions, classes inbuilt in the Python that can used to perform a specific kind of task. And the second name of the library you can use as a package. You can say also package. Now this package and library, these are interchangeable. You can use the either package or you can say is a library. Now if you want to create your own package or if you want to create your own library, first and foremost you have to create a folder. So create a folder in your computer with a name that you want to give to your library. That you want to give to your library. Fine? So first and foremost we have to create a folder with the name of the library that I want to create, and that you can create how you're creating a folder in your computer. Now after that you have to create the subfolder in it. Create the function in each, create the functions in each subfolder. Right? So we may have a folder, and inside that folder we may have many subfolders. Subfolder you may consider as a module only, and every module has got a set of functions that you can create, and then create the underscore init file. You have to create a file called init.py. So underscore init.py. then underscore underscore. This is a file that you to create in every again libraries that you want to create. Now after creating this, you have this file name. Just again for this, in every subfolder we have to create underscore underscore 2 time underscore, but it will be together, then init underscore underscore dot py. This is the file name that you have to create in every subfolder in your folder that you have just created. Now after doing this all, you have to upload or you have to store this folder with the library name that you have created in the Python system folder, and for that you can check, you just import sys. Now sys is a module that you have to import. It's a system module, and then you just see the path of this. So import sys.path. Now sys.path command will give you the path of the Python standard libraries where this library are supposed to be incorporated. It will show you one path. That path name is, you can refer it as a site package. It's a site package. So wherever you have a site package written, there you have to copy the entire folder of yours that you have just created and stored it. Once you stored, after that your Python library is ready to use. So there are few things which you have to keep in mind if you want to create your own library. First and foremost, we have to create a folder with the name of the library that I want to give. It's a user defined name I have to create. Inside the folder we may have a mini subfolder according to the needs of ours, and every subfolder have functions 1, 2, 3, 4, how many functions you want to create that function, and then have this file underscore underscore init underscore underscore dot py in every subfolder, which is very required, and then this complete folder are required to be incorporated in or stored in site underscore package. This is one of the part of the Python from where the Python looks for a library or search for a library. So you have to import a sys command in the Python, check for the path of the Python site package, simply to apply the sys.path, and then you can use the site package wherever site package folders are. In that folder we have to copy the entire folder that you created and store it. Once you store, after that you are ready to use like an import and then your own library name that you just created, and then you are ready to use this all. And once you have imported, you can use any modules of that library. So this is how a Python library is being created in Pythons. I hope with this all points what I discussed must be very easy for you. Main things we learn what library is a collections of modules of different again kind which help us to cater a particular things in Python, and modules are a separate .py file where we have a functions, more than one functions may be there that help us to perform the task. So module is separate .py file that we create in a particular library, and a module can have more than one function also. Then the structure of the Python module that you have seen, every modules having a doc string that is a help about that module, then maybe a comments, maybe variables, then maybe a function, then inside the function there may be variable, there may be a classes, many classes, objects, and then some constant. These are the structure of any again module. Importing module in a Python, simply there are two ways, complete and partial. If you want to complete again hire the module, simply write the import and then module name. This will give you complete module to be used. And if you want to hire a particular things, then from, then module name, then import, then the whatever feature of that module you want to use. This is how to import it. Python processing of import module, as I mentioned, there are again two things. Once Python come across any import statement in the Python program, it does three tasks. One is it's simply again execute the statement, makes it ready to use, and create a namespace, that is a name created by the Python as an environment variable which hold the complete thing about that modules. And then this is a case once we are hiring a complete module. If we are hiring a partial one with the help of from clause, at the moment Python get this statement in your program, it does two tasks, execute the statement and simply makes the things ready to use. This is how a Python process import module command. Namespace is a space created in a Python. Immediately you create or import a module with the same name as module name and stored all the variables in that module what are there. And then we have a using Python standard library functions. Simply we can use the standard library functions by using the function, because these are inbuilt functions. Most of the functions are inbuilt. And then like for example maths, many functions of the mathematics directly you can use, or some of the function are supposed to be used with the module name dot function name. Inbuilt functions are the functions which can be used directly without using any module name. That's what it's called inbuilt. And land or input or str or int, these all are example of inbuilt function. And then creating a Python library, there are certain steps to create it that I discuss, and I hope these library chapters with this must be again easy for you, or will be easier for you to understand. So kindly go through and make a note and send me. I'll check and I'll again reply back to you if there will be any discrepancy in the notes. Now, yesterday I gave an online test and few of you only attempted. So it's my request to kindly attempt the test, whatever test is again floating from us. This is for your betterment, and feedback is very required too. That's why it's very required to attempt the test. Every Sunday I'll conduct a test. No doubt in it, I'll send this message link for your test on every Sunday. Whole day is there with you. You can complete it and you can send me by evening. And then also keep on again sending me the notes of your SQL, networking. Then you have the Python 4 chapter I covered today. So for revision to 1, revision to 2, then the functions and the library. So total 8 chapters I covered with this 4 chapters of Python, 2 chapters SQL, 2 chapters networking, and all works so far we have completed should be again produced, and it's your moral duty. Thank you all. Please like this video, subscribe it so that you will come to know about the next videos of mine. Thank you all.